All right, everybody, what's going on? How are you doing today? I got about, I think, what, five movies? Let's see, one, two, three, four, five. Yep, five movies to go over today. And for this movie review roundup, let me just change this real quick. And yeah, this will be closing out the November movies that I saw. And so I think November ended really strong. I'm actually going to do something that I haven't done in a while, and I'm going to look up the projected box office after the end of this review roundup. So let's go ahead and just get right on to it. So the first movie I'm going to go over is going to be Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good, I wouldn't say I was hyped for it, but I did like the first movie, and I think the singing from Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande is fantastic. I think all the acting and just props and set designs and costumes, it was all fun and a good time. This movie lost some of that charm, and apparently it kind of does that in the play as well. I'm curious as to how the book is. Does the book lose some of that charm in the second half of it also? I don't know, but just something about this is missing, like that oomph, like the thing that like made you smile when they're singing a song, or the thing that made you laugh when they did something stupid. It was missing that. They included the Wizard of Oz to a certain extent, but it's supposed to take place in the same time frame, and the characters feel completely different than the Wizard of Oz characters. Just mainly Tin Man, because that's the one that they kind of emphasize on the most. But like he seems like this guy that's full of hate and rage, and if he doesn't have a heart, he shouldn't have any of that. He should not know any kind of emotion. He should not know any kind of love, any kind of hate, anything like that. But he's full of hate in this movie. I think it's cool. The idea is cool to see how they kind of turn these normal characters from the world of Oz into these fantastical characters like Scarecrow and Tin Man, and then the Lion has kind of just always been there. He was in the first one even as well, um, but it just, if it didn't flow well for me, at least in the back half of the movie. I think the first half of the movie is much stronger, and I've heard a lot of the opposite. I think the first half is much stronger than the back half, and with the Wizard of Oz stuff in general, like I didn't like that they expect the audience to know the story of the Wizard of Oz, and that movie is almost 100 years old now. So I mean, not quite, but it's pushing it. And so you can't expect an audience of people that saw Wicked for the first time and have never seen anything Wizard of Oz, and expect them to know the story of the Wizard of Oz. And I don't know why they didn't choose to just show Dorothy's face. The actress that played her, it didn't really make sense to me. And it feels like, I felt like in the back half of the movie they tried too hard to blend that all together, and it just didn't work for me. It felt very choppy. It felt unnecessary. There's no memorable songs in the movie at all. They did make two original ones for it, and I think I could tell when one of them was, but not the other one, which I guess in that sense is a plus of a movie. It's still visually stunning, and the friendship chemistry between Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo is great. It's still there. Like I would like to see them actually do more things. Like I would love to see them in a comedy or like a mystery, like a Knives Out type movie together, and we'll get to that later. Because their chemistry just is really good. You really believe them as true friends, and so they did some stuff that I was kind of predicting they would. I've never read the book or seen the play, so like I kind of predicted that she was still alive the whole time, and then she just went off somewhere else. I don't know. I think there's a bunch of Wizard of Oz books. I don't know if they ever hinted at that in any of the books, but it does open the door for more movies to be made, which they are talking about. They also have Son of a Witch, the sequel to Wicked, about her child. So I think there's good things that they could do with this movie. I just wasn't as fond of this movie as I was the last one. Again, visuals are good, acting's good, chemistry's good. The songs are good, they're just not memorable. But and by the songs I mean they're singing. And with the whole inclusion of Wizard of Oz, I was hoping for more. And for me, this wasn't nearly as good as the first one. But I think if you go to the movies, you'll still enjoy it to an extent. If you loved the first one, you would probably just like this movie. You won't love this movie. And also, real quick, at the very end, it felt like a Lord of the Rings ending. It felt like every 5 minutes it was like, okay, here's the end of the movie, and then it goes on to something else. And then so I was annoyed by that. But with that being said, I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. And real quick, I will be right back. I have to go let out my roommate's dogs because they're barking and it's annoying me. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Freaking whack ass dog. Okay, so Wicked for Good, 6 out of 10. And then what else? What is next? Next is going to be Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2, I was really looking forward to this one. When the first movie came out, I wasn't too into it. I was like 19 years old. I was starting to get into like the realness of adulthood and stuff like that. And so cartoons, animation, Pixar, that wasn't really on my radar at the time. However, as time went on, I loved it more and more. So I'm a big fan of the first one. Oh, excuse me. I do not think this one is as good as the first one, but it is a worthy sequel. I would put this on the level of like The Incredibles 2 to The Incredibles. So it's not nearly as good, but it's still a good time. And Ki Hu Kwan as the snake, I kind of had wished he had more to do in the movie. Like the snake is in the movie a lot, but Ki Hu Kwan isn't. And let's see what else. What else did I not like about this? I want to get all that out of the way. Oh, that was really it, to be honest with you. I like how they oh my gosh. Excuse me. I like how they kept the structure of the first movie and they made it known. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're like kind of like how 22 Jump Street did. It's like it's going to be this exactly the same and you're doing it again." They did that a lot in this movie. They made a lot of references to the first one. There's a scene where like there is a twist and they're like a twist villain, and then the rabbit was Hops. She goes she goes, "Oh, okay. Good, cuz last time there was a twist in our last case." And then the guy goes, "Yeah, I know." And then he's the twist. And then so I like that. I thought it was funny. It kind of they do a lot of little like meta things with it like that, saying like, "Oh, okay, like yeah, I know how the story goes." However, at the end of the movie, says to Judy, "I love you," but I'm only saying that once every decade, and it's been about 10 years since the last one came out. But in the movie itself, it's only been a week, so that didn't really make sense to me. God, I got something stuck in my throat. That didn't really make sense to me, like writing wise. It was just a joke in there to like get the audience to laugh because they know it's been a long time since the last Utopia movie. But other than that, god damn, what is this? Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll just deal with it. But other than that, the jokes are really fun. There's a lot of adult humor in it for sure. Especially in like the like the first like I think what was like the first like 20 minutes, there's a really funny dick pic joke in there, and oh my god, I was cracking up. And which is wild to say for a Disney movie, but are you really surprised? And then the new characters, the beaver was a fun little addition. I wish there was more of Flash the sloth. He has a good scene, but I just wish there was more of him. I just like that character. And I am excited to see where this movie goes. The animation in it's really good. Like it's hard for me to kind of judge the difference in animation from the first one to the second one, just because it's so much different watching it on your TV versus watching it in the theater. But you can tell they just make things a little bit crisper. And the way the snake moved, I think, was really good animation. I don't think I've seen an animated snake kind of look like a real snake in that kind of sense before. And then who else? Patrick Warburton plays the new mayor. He's okay. A lot of people seem to have liked him a lot. He's like an actor turned mayor, so it's like a play on Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it was just he was just there. It wasn't anything in particular particularly special in my opinion. But this movie overall is a fun time. If you have kids, family, they'll love it. I was in a packed theater and like the kids only started to get antsy maybe once in the movie, and that's when I started to get antsy myself. There's a moment in there where like so in the trailer they do like their cop therapy or whatever. They bring that back in the third act, and that kind of drags the third act by about like another like 5 or 10 minutes. That it just didn't need to. That scene could have been cut a lot shorter, or could have been cut down a lot more to make it shorter. And I think it would have flowed with the movie better. The movie is, I think, paced very well at the beginning, and then it gets real choppy and like the not the last half, but more so the third act. Because you are kind of waiting, like, okay, is there a twist? And then there's not, and then it happens, and you're like, oh, okay. So then they do that, and then from there on, it's a little bit more predictable as to how the story's going to go out. But it just felt like it dragged on a little bit too long, and I felt that way about the first movie as well, actually, when I saw it. But with that, Zootopia 2, it's still a fun time. Still, you get a lot of laughs out. At least I do. I'm pretty easily entertained. I like Jason Bateman as Nick. I think he's hilarious. He just plays a cartoon version of every other character he plays in movies. And then Judy Hopps is just a funny character. These two are like, they kind of tease at a romance, but not really. It's more just like a really solid friendship. And I like that they added to that a lot more in this movie than the last one. The last one was them obviously getting to know each other. But this one's like, hey, dude, like if we're going to be a team, we're going to be a partner. Like we got to listen to each other. You can't just go off and doing what you're doing. And I think that's good to have in a friendship for sure, especially as cops. And so to just play on that kind of trope, they did a good job with it and made it relatable to kids to where it's easy to follow and things like that. So Zootopia 2, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Okay, next up. At least that thing got cleared out of my freaking throat. Dear Lord. Okay, the next movie that I'm going to be going over is Eternity. Eternity was such a pleasant surprise to me. I was looking forward to this movie because I like the idea of like, hey, when you die, you go in this limbo state and you can get a job to try to get people to go to other eternities. You could go to an eternity yourself. You can wait around for the person that you're waiting for or family or whatever. You just have to like do work there. I like that idea. It's like it's before the true afterlife. And this woman, Scarlett Johansson, or not Scarlett Johansson, Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch, she has to, when she dies, she finds both of her husbands in limbo, and one had died in the war, and then the other one, Miles Teller's character, is the one that she actually raised a family with and grew old with and things like that. So she's got to choose between the love that she had for her life versus the love that she lost at the beginning of her life, I guess you could say. So she's got this guy that she knows she loved, but she never got to live a life with him, versus the guy that she knows she loved and got to live a life with him. And she has to choose. And so there were moments in there where I thought like, oh God, okay, this is going to go the stereotypical modern day route. And it did at first, and then it didn't. So that made me really happy. If you know, you know. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing because it just came out. And the chemistry, I think, between all three of them is great. You really believe that Elizabeth Olsen loves both Miles Teller and the other, what was his name, Callum Turner, their characters, that she truly loved both of them. And when she's with Miles Teller and the times they're alone, you can tell there's just the extra little something there that's kind of turned on because they had spent their life together in the movie. And then whereas the other one, she just like, it's a love that she's longing for, not necessarily one that she needs or wants, but you can tell she wants that. And so just the way that Elizabeth Olsen's able to kind of turn those on and off between the two characters is really good. And then the two guys, Miles Teller and Callum Turner, they become friends. At first, they obviously hate each other, but then they become friends and you believe their friendship. So the chemistry between all of them is really good. I think, again, I like the idea. And then it's kind of like what's that one Jim Carrey one? Why can't I think of it right now? Truman Show. It's kind of like that in the sense that like when it's nighttime, they just bring down a poster of nighttime. Like it doesn't actually go to nighttime. So there's elements of that in there, but it's not like the outcome isn't like that at all. And so in my opinion, she ended up making the right choice at the end. It kind of took her a while to get there, a little bit longer than I felt needed to be there. But hey, what can you do? Also with this, I think it was probably about 15 minutes too long. It could have been cut down to about an hour 40, an hour 35 maybe. And it was about an hour, I think an hour 50 or 52. And you do start to feel it kind of towards the last like 20, 25 minutes. You're kind of waiting for it to end. Like, okay, you've done all you can do now. Let's move on with it. And but it's still a good time with the movies. I definitely recommend seeing it. I also recommend seeing it if you need to save some money for the holidays, but you still want to have a little date night and go out to the movies or something. I definitely recommend seeing this. It's a good like love movie. It's not a romance movie per se though. It's not like Eat, Pray, Love or whatever the hell that kind of shit is. But it is a romance movie. It's a movie made for couples. It's a movie made for like hopeless romantics and whatever. But it's also got a lot of really funny moments in it, and it's got some dark humor in it as well. I had a good time with this movie. I was anticipating having a good time with it, and I'm happy that it succeeded in that. I give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. After Eternity, I believe it's Wake Up Dead Man. Let's take a look. Yes. Wake Up Dead Man. So this is the third movie in the Knives Out franchise. I love all these movies. A lot of people do not like The Glass Onion. I don't see what the problem is with it. I like it. I will go into spoilers here. So if you do not want to know who the murderer is, go ahead and mute it now, or just click out, come back, or whatever. So I have predicted the murder or the murderer in every one of these movies just based off the trailer. I think the first time I got lucky. The second time, so the first time in Knives Out with Chris Evans, I think I just got lucky. The second time I've predicted it was Edward Norton, and you could just kind of tell in the trailer and in the movie itself, which is people's biggest flaw with it. Like, it kind of just tells you who the killer is, like, right out. And I didn't mind it. I still thought it was interesting. And I think Rian Johnson does a good job of writing to, like, oh, okay, maybe there's actually multiple people in on it. Maybe, like, he does get you to kind of think throughout the movie itself. And I like that. Regardless of what people say about Glass Onion, I enjoy it. And in this one, I was like, okay. First one was Chris Evans. Second one was Edward Norton. And there's a bunch of MCU actors, Marvel Cinematic Universe actors, in this movie. And just based off the trailer, I was like, all right, I think it's going to be Jeremy Renner. I think he's going to stick with the person or the people that are in the MCU. And Jeremy Renner is going to be the killer. And he was. However, he was half of the killer. There was actually two of them that took part in it. And the other one was Glenn Close, who is also an MCU character. She's a person in the Nova Corps. So I think if Rian Johnson does another one, let's not do a person that has been in the MCU, because now it's just become a trope where every actor that's been in the MCU that's in one of these Knives Out movies is probably going to be the killer. So with that, though, with that prediction going into it, again, this movie does kind of make you think, but not nearly as much as the other two, in my opinion. You're kind of just like going through it and like, okay, like there's not much that makes you think about like, oh, okay, they would have this motive to do that, and they would have this motive to do that, and they would have this motive to do that. Whereas I think in the first two, the first one specifically, you could see a logical reason as to why every single one of those people would want the person dead that was killed. This one, in my opinion, you don't really think that at all. And not from any of the characters, but that doesn't mean the characters didn't have good chemistry, and that doesn't mean that they didn't act well. They did. The movie is great. Just when it comes to like, okay, when it comes to when it comes to the thread of everybody going in on this one person to find a reason for him to be dead, I don't think it was strong enough. They got to a point where it was like, okay, I can see that, because the person that died had told all of them that he was going to expose them. That finally gave them a reason as to why, but that doesn't come until like, I think more than halfway through the movie. So that part I wasn't the biggest fan of as far as like the writing goes, but it's also, as far as the writing goes, as far as a murder mystery, the writing itself in the movie is very good. I wish there was more of Daniel Craig. I feel like he doesn't come into the movie till like an hour into the movie. And like, I don't mind kind of going through everybody's story and just seeing everybody as the audience, and then, or like being Benoit Blanc in the moment, kind of like how in Knives Out 1, we are him listening to everybody. I don't mind that. But an hour or so into a 2.5 hour movie, I want to see more of him just because I love that character. He's really funny. There's a Scooby-Dooby-Doo moment that I was cracking up at. I thought it was hilarious. But with all that being said, it might sound like a lot of negatives, but the acting from everybody's really good. My favorite character in the movie probably would be Josh Brolin as the priest, or as the sermon, whatever it's called. And the main guy, Josh O'Connor, he did a really good job too, just acting. You felt the sincerity in him. You felt the dry humor in him when it was there at times. You felt the hurt that he had for other people. He did a really good job at acting. And then obviously Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc was just fantastic. Like, there's really nothing else to it. You could tell he enjoys playing this character. However, I do not like that we are getting to a point now to where each movie he's like, I don't know who did this. I don't know who solved it. When really the whole time he actually kind of does know. So I wish that they would find a way to where he truly doesn't know what the mystery or who the murderer is, and he has to go like on some sort of like side excursion or something like that to kind of help bring him to his senses, or he has to bring in somebody else like a secondary partner to help him figure it out and point out the missing pieces. So with this, I would like to see a fourth movie. I would love for these movies to continue on. If they stay at this kind of quality, I would love to see more of these movies. I do think this one is better than Glass Onion as far as the style of the movie itself. Um, and the writing too, I guess. Yeah, this movie definitely much better than A Glass Onion. The first one, I would say is still my favorite, but because I've seen it so many times, it's kind of hard to know. Like I can kind of point out every time I watch it now, every single thing. I want these movies to show me something new every single time I watch it, and both Knives Out and Glass Onion don't do that in my opinion. However, I feel like this one, Wake Up Dead Man, would. So with that, I definitely go check it out. It's going to be on Netflix in a couple weeks, but go check it out in the theaters. Support your local theaters. Support movies like this being made because they are made for the theaters. And the contract with Netflix and Rian Johnson for these movies is up. So if you want to see more of these movies, go see it in the theaters to show all the other studios, hey, buy this property because we'll go check it out in the theaters. So with that, Knives Out, fun time. I actually would like to see it again. However, I probably will wait just because I did see it in the theater already. So I will wait the couple weeks and then watch it with family or something later on. And I give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. Really fun time. Murder mysteries are one of my favorite franchises that you could do, or genres that you could do. Definitely recommend seeing it. Okay, last up, I have a movie that I didn't give a score to because, okay, I gotta fix that real quick. Hold on. So the last one that I'm going to go over is going to be Hamnet. Hamnet was a movie that I did not expect to enjoy, but I quite frankly loved. Hold on real quick. Sorry, let me fix this. Okay, all good. I loved Hamnet. I can't wait to see it again. I think when you tell me, hey, there's a movie out that's about Shakespeare's son and how he wrote the play of Hamlet, I would say, okay. And then that's it. I could care less. But I do like the actors in this movie. I do like, I didn't know before that Hamnet was his actual son, and he wrote the play based off of it. I didn't know how his son died or anything like that, or what happened, or why he wrote the play. But once I realized, like, oh, Hamnet was the true person that the play is based off of, I was like, okay, that's a little bit interesting. And then I saw who's in it. The trailers, I think, do an okay job. There's a certain style to this movie that if you're not into that style, you're not going to enjoy the trailer. However, I feel like if you still see the movie anyways, you will enjoy the movie. It's a very emotional, heartfelt movie. And it's so I guess I'll go into spoilers on this one. Do I want to? It just came out. I'll go into spoilers on this one. Hamnet dies. He dies from like a bubonic plague type of disease. I don't know if that's actually it or not, and I don't think there's a history book or historian that will say how his son actually died. But that's kind of what they allude to in this movie. And the kids, so the mom is a witch of some sort, or she's got premonitions or whatever, and she had always predicted that she'd have 2 children by her side when she dies. But she's got 3 kids. So she had one baby girl with William Shakespeare, and then they had twins. But the girl twin was pretty much dead at childbirth, but then she ended up breathing. The mom did some stuff, did some voodoo or whatever to get the kid breathing. And so she always thinks, okay, that girl, that little girl is going to be the one to die. So I got to do everything to keep her alive. And then she's on the path to death. But because they're twins, Hamnet says, hey, let's switch spots. And like, it makes more sense when you watch the movie, but she's laying down sick and he says, hey, let's switch spots because I see death and he's going to confuse us because we're twins and we look alike. And so then the sickness, death got him. And when you're watching the movie at the like more towards the beginning, they do a thing where they try to trick William Shakespeare, their dad, into like, oh, like, no, I'm her and she's me. And then when you're watching the movie, you're like, okay, like the kids are a little bit too old for that, in my opinion. But when it comes to the point of death between the two of them, it adds that much more depth and emotion to that scene where they tried to trick their dad. And so, and with that, the acting is good. I think Jessie Buckley right now is the front runner to win an Academy Award for Best Actress, in my opinion. I think she did absolutely fantastic. Paul Mescal did a good job too, but Jessie Buckley did great. And Paul Mescal, he did great in his acting, more so on the emotional end of it, like the physicality in his performances. I think he did very well there. And the kids, the children actors, they did really good. There's the people that were in the play. I don't know the kid's name, but he's from like Honey Boy. He's in a lot of different things. He did good as far as like the play style goes. He wasn't in it very much, but he did a good job. And so overall, this movie, it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it flows. It flows well. The first probably like 15 to 30 minutes in there is a little bit choppy because you're kind of getting used to everybody. You're kind of getting used to just the world that they live in because it's so vastly different than ours. And then after that, once they actually like kind of get together and start to become a couple, it flows very well in my opinion. The music in it is great, and the directing is really good as well. The visuals are good. You could definitely tell that it was on location. I honestly don't think there was any green screen at all in this movie. I would be shocked if there was. And so I had just a really good time with it. I walked out of the movie saying, oh my God, that movie was so much better than I thought it was going to be. It was emotional. It was deep. I don't know how true it is to the actual story of Hamnet or in the Shakespeare's life, but it is believable for sure. And one thing that this movie also made me think and like made me do is when I walked out of it, I was like, okay, I want to see another one of these movies. I want to see a movie with the same cast about what inspired him to write Romeo and Juliet. I want to see another movie about what inspired him to write. What's the other? There's another really popular one that he's got. But so things like that. Like I want to see more of these movies in this style as to what inspired Shakespeare to write that particular play. And so it could be worse. It could be better. It could be the same. But just after seeing this, I want that now. So I doubt they're going to do it. But it's just, I think when you can walk out of a movie saying, hey, I want more of this, the movie did its job right. And for that, I give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. Favorite movie of the month of November for sure. I can't wait to watch it again before awards season. I think it'll win, or I think it'll be nominated for Best Picture. I think it'll be nominated for Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Costume Design, and maybe even supporting actor as well for the little boy. I'm not too sure. Not too sure about that one, but he did do a good job either way. So that is it. These are the movies that I saw back in, or not back in, we're still in the month of November, but in the month of November. I'm not seeing any more movies today. I got to go to work in a little bit. So no more movies for me. I saw a total of 14 movies. I'm going to release a video ranking them throughout the month. So be sure to check that out. And yeah, so these movies, Hamnet at 9 out of 10. And then I had Wake Up Dead Man at 8 out of 10. Then Eternity at 8 out of 10. Zootopia at 8 out of 10. A lot of 8 out of 10s. Really good time at the movies this month. And then Wicked, 6 out of 10. Wasn't as impressed with Wicked, but it's still a decent time overall. So that is it for me. That is the movie review roundup. What I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to, let's see if I can, let's see, is that the right thing? Hold on, let me check this real quick. I'm going to go over the box office of the projected box office of the weekend. I just want to see, which I haven't done in a long time. I just want to see, though, if this is the right thing. Nope. Dive deeper into AI mode. I'm not on that one. Okay, that's that. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of this. Okay, and that I'll get rid of all these real quick. I have not seen it yet. Let's see. I'm gonna shrink it down though a bit. Okay. And then there's me, little old me. Okay, let's check this out now. So we'll go weekend. December 19th. No, not December 19th. You crazy. 182 million total in the top 10. That's pretty good. Oh, that's the Thanksgiving 3-day. Okay, let's check out the 5-day. The 5-day. 282. That's really good as well. Okay, so opening number 1 as of right now is going to be Zootopia 2 with $156 million. This is just domestic. So this is just in the United States. Wicked for Good, 93 million, and I believe that's its second week. So that's I wonder what its percentage drop off is at that point. I want to say it's only like a 50% drop. Now You See Me made 10 million in the theaters, so that's in third place. That's pretty surprising, honestly. So good for Now You See Me. Now You See Me has made a lot more money than anybody's anticipated. Predator Badlands in fourth place. I did see that one again over the Thanksgiving weekend. I went to the movies 4 times this Thanksgiving week. I went twice up in Big Bear, and then I went, excuse me, twice in my hometown. Or no, I went once in Irvine and then once in my hometown. Running Man, fifth place. So Running Man probably got a little bit of a bump this past week. Eternity with 5.2 million. So I'm honestly very surprised about that and very happy about that. That's more than I thought it was. Rental Family with just about 4 million, or I'm sorry, just about 3.1 million. Rental Family, that's not too surprised there that it didn't make that much money. It's probably gonna make most of its money internationally because it's kind of geared, or he lives in Japan in that movie. Did I not talk about that movie? Okay, if you didn't see Rental Man, I don't think I talked about it. If you didn't see Rental Man, I saw it on a whim. I had a great time with it. Wow, I went to the movies 5 times in this Thanksgiving week. Crazy. Eighth place, Hamnet, 1.3 million. Not surprised. It's probably not going to do all too well. A lot of these award season movies haven't been doing well, and they're not going to. Or they usually don't. Sisu Road to Revenge, it made 1.2 million. And Regretting You made 710,000. So that's your top 10 of the weekend. Let's see. Black Phone 2 still hanging in there, still making some money. That's crazy. Good for Black Phone 2. Let's see on the international front how things did. So let's see. Wicked in Russia. Now You See Me made the most money. That's crazy. Mexico, Wicked, everything Wicked. So let's see what the worldwide numbers are for right now. Let's see. This is the top 10. Zootopia is already in the top 10 for worldwide box office. That movie in a week, or less than a week, 5 days, made $500 million. Made $556 million, pretty close to $557 million. That is insane. Internationally, it did $400 million. That's crazy. Mission Impossible. So Zootopia will take over Mission Impossible at number 9 by next week. It honestly might even take over Superman. F1. I can't believe F1 made more money than Superman. That's crazy. Demon Slayer made 600 million. Good for the anime crew. That's crazy. I didn't know it made that much money. And then let's see. I want to see also where Wicked is. Okay, so Wicked is at 393 million. So I believe the first one capped out at about 700 million. To be fair, it is only in its second week, but I was expecting this to be a little bit higher. Not gonna lie. Kind of surprised. Zootopia took a lot of the Wicked fan base this past weekend. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. It's made 186 million worldwide. That's pretty good, honestly, for that movie. I think it only cost them. Let's see, how much did it cost this movie to make? Does it say? All right, well, I'm gonna check it out. Hold on, let me check this out real quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, what the heck? What just happened? All right, it's all good. So let's see. Now You See Me. 3 cost to make. It made 90 million to make that movie. What? There's no reason for that. That's insane. Okay, never mind. It's not going to make its money back. It's going to need to make at least another 80 million to make its money back. That's ridiculous. That movie should cost like 30 million to make. That's insane. Okay, never mind. Now You See Me. Predator Badlands in there with 173 million. Let's see. All right. So I'm the thing I am most shocked about is Zootopia 2. And I think Zootopia 2 is probably going to pass Lilo and Stitch, because Zootopia 2 made, Jesus, almost 3/4, right? Well over half of what Lilo and Stitch's foreign numbers did in 1 week. So that to me, that's insane. And the Mission Impossible, look at how much money that made. Wow. It made so much money, but it cost so much money for them to make that movie that it wasn't profitable, which sucks because if they did it right, it would have been very profitable. That's insane. But Zootopia, I guess I'll call it now. Well, actually, Avatar hasn't come out yet, but Zootopia 2 will take over the number one spot. Nazot 2, this is a lie. This movie came out in the United States and it made $23 million. So if you're telling me that it made $1.8 billion just in international and nowhere's even close to a billion, the closest is Lilo and Stitch, and Lilo and Stitch and its domestic numbers are not that far off in comparison, that's a bullshit lie. That makes no sense. Nobody fucking saw this movie. China, you're full of liars. You suck. Get out of here. But wow. So good weekend for the Hollywood box office. What was the total again for the weekend? So for today, let's see. So let's see. Tuesday, Wicked, and then Zootopia every other day since. It's crazy. I want to know the total of the weekend though, or the 5-day weekend. Oh, there you go. Well, I should just click weekend like a freaking goofball. What was it? 282 million. So that's for the 5-day. That's the best the box office has seen. I think it made more than all of October. Let's see. 74, 140. Okay, now pretty low box office for October, but also pretty low for November as well, up until this past week. So let's see, from the to the 30th. It made a significant amount. Hold on, let's check this out real quick. I'm just gonna do basic numbers here. So we got 282. Where am I at? We'll round that up to 283. 283 plus do 170. Oops, 178. Nope, not 478. 178. Okay, and then plus, what was that, 669? No, 6609. Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, 669. So we'll just round that up to 67 plus 73. So it made well over $600 million in the box office. And then October didn't even make 300 million, I don't think. So let's see, we got 74 plus 73 plus 64 plus 61 plus 69. 340, yeah. So wow. So November has made more than double. This weekend alone, or this past week alone, came very close to made damn near almost all of October's box office. So that's crazy. But 600 million at the box office for the year that we've had at the movies is very good. So keep going to see movies. Keep checking that stuff out. It's a fun time. Listen to me and all the movies I recommend because I'm the best at it. And yeah, so with that, oh Jesus, I gotta move my no, I gotta move this back now. So check out the movies that I recommended. If you saw any other movies, be sure to check those out as well. I completely forgot about Rental Family. I saw it kind of on a whim. It happened to be playing in my local theater, so I went and saw it before I went on vacation. And I had a really good time with it. It's a very good movie. So go check out that as well. Rental Family, quick review. Rental Family, he's set in Japan. He's a struggling actor. He signs up for a job where he gets a fake name and is assigned to people to fill whatever void they need filled in their life. He does about, I think, 3 or 4 different families, gets too attached to all of them, kind of goes through some stuff, and it's very emotional. Brendan Fraser does another really good job. I don't think he'll get nominated this time around like he did for The Whale. I think he did a better job in The Whale, but I also think that was a heavier movie as well. And then, wait, do I even have a picture that I could just pull up real quick? Let me see. All right, it's going to look weird, but it'll do. So that's what Rental Family was, and I give this movie a solid. I give it a. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I would say 8.5, but we'll just go 9 because I don't have the 8.5 written down. So go check out Rental Family as well. The movie is a lot of fun, or not a lot of fun. Excuse me. The movie is very emotional and very impactful, and you just have a good time while you're there. So go check those out. Be on the lookout for my ranking of the movies that I saw in November. I saw 14 of them. And then also be sure to look out for the upcoming movies in December to check out. I didn't think there was going to be quite a bit or quite many at all. And there's quite a bit to see. So be sure to go check those out. Watch my video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.